find people who are positive, who are not ready to go in the hospital, but you can then reduce the chance that they'll pass it on to other people.
You have served in the past as a deputy commissioner for the...
Let me just stop that. Hello. Good day. Friday, the 20th of March. I was just listening to C-SPAN. I have been, just before I come on, I've been frequenting myself with the mainstream dialogue narrative, and I just thought I'd come and say what 12:10 p.m. GMT, allegedly. Title of today's video: social agreements and social contracts. Then we have instructions and we have orders. The Prime Minister yesterday saying that they are ready and willing to use any and all means necessary was a stark indication as this situation evolves hourly, daily before our very eyes. So I come to you today to give an update, and for you to, wherever you are, take your eyes off the terrestrial casting channels, the news itself, and we'll have a little hello update. I feel obliged to come on now and again just to say hello. I am sorting out GANS bracelets for the ones that have contacted me, so they will be going out, and some test tubes, CO2 GANS. I have some numbers for you as well I'd like to bring to you. I'd like to ask anybody that's currently been on a health diet, a purge, and you have been, your body is basically one massive distillery. Whatever you put in, coffee, tea, sugars, liquids, all of these processed foods, and drinks we take, your urine and your waste, solids and liquid. We'll go for number one, liquid, your waste. When you analyse this urine, there's proteins and enzymes and ammonias and things in the urine. The body is essentially a massive distillery, and essentially your meat and fat absorb the free radicals and etc. Polluted water will give you kidney stones and gallstones and etc. And lower your vitality and your cellular ability to be repairing in times of viruses. So anybody that's been working on their health system, that's been actively, proactively thinking on, I happen to have put on several kilos and taken out quite a lot of the free radicals in my diet, and I also have been using internally silver particles, silver nitrate, but the way the medical profession uses it is a silver nitrate, silver and atomized via electrolysis, silver colloidal water. If you have been having that and you've got it in your body, I'd like to know, number one, have you had any issues, and number two, do you get any issues throughout the course of this current attack on our biological systems, energies and souls? So we are going to do some tests as we go along, and we're going to use your testimonies for the backup for that, in light of the academic avenues of exploration. So we'll keep the thread with the contracts and the agreements and the orders, all right, instructions, and what the differences are. I got asked some questions yesterday when we was on with Brother Lyndon on the EMF, electromagnetic ionization chat that we did yesterday. Thank you for the feedback on that. That was a good shout from Lyndon, and a welcome break. So I'm going to put the link in for this website that I often frequent to get some numbers on the realm. I'm going to say hello to the scribes. We'll take a moment. No music, I know. I just want to focus and keep the thread. So I'm going to read you some numbers from a website, and this is where the website is. I'm not affiliated with it. I don't support it. I just found it searching, and it seems to be working all right. China, total cases 80,974. Italy, total cases 41,035. Spain, third, total cases 19,980. Iran, number 4, 19,644. Germany, number 5, 16,666. United States, number 6, 14,160. France, number 7, 10,995. South Korea, this is number 8, 8,652. Switzerland, number 9, 4,898 total cases. These are all in UK, Anglo, Great Britain, England. Our current landmass that we are all on, 3,269. It appears that due to the current updates from the scientific and health and the Prime Minister, they're expecting a rise in the cases there. So has anybody got any family members quarantined, self-isolating? We'd like to know if you wouldn't mind helping, working with us. Anybody, the area, no names, keep the sensitive data private, but we'd like to know any data that you would like to help with us on these claims being made at the moment. I will say sorry and blessings. Much love in these times of isolation, uncertainty, anxiety. There are sick folk being showed to us on the news. Man that is sick, that is from the news. I'd like to know where you are and what your health is, especially for Anglo-Saxon Britain. If you're in Britain, I'm in the East Midlands, and I'm available to offer help as long as the fuel and the access and the agreements, contracts, instructions and orders are all permissible. We will aim to help one another, and I'll be in East Midlands area, and I will offer some help. I'm sure some of you may be able to do the same, should we need to, in the forms of what we can. So I'm not saying there will be a need to. Other countries are being quite polite, courteous and calm when it comes to food, acquisition of water and supplies. Anglo seems to have got issues, so let's go to the live chat. Let's see if the connection stays on. I'm on the same handset in the same place with the same connection. Last night was very sketchy again. It seems some topics that this channel talks about are directly interfered with and interrupted. So again, if he was on last night, we will see the connectivity. I am being, I don't know, careful and trying to make as strong a connection as I can and make the audio and everything clear, easy to understand. The presentation, topics, delivery. So the connection now is the only issue, and that's beyond my control. So Shadow, Hogarth. Thank you for your nutritional advice there, and what, not advice, information, and what you're sharing. Sugar, that's a drug, that will kill you. If you eat meat, the parasites live inside you. Some, possibly, yeah, definitely. Hogarth, my neighbour is a nurse working in A&E. Shout going out to Hogarth's neighbour. Peace and love. May the Creator's angelic forces protect. She thinks it's crazy how people are reacting. I said it's flu season. Correct. Yep, it is. And if NHS gave out Vitsi, the hospitals would be empty. She agreed. I like that, Hogarth. Fist bumps. That's the link for the coronavirus app on the website. It's not an app, it's just a website link that you get, and it will update you. Allegedly, I do not know. I'm just, trying to help. Colloidal silver. Yep, I'm not making any claims. It's already been made in the medical profession. Silver nitrate, silver sixpences. It's old news again. It's an alchemical form of defence, as we say. Drugs are not always the best line of defence. There are other ways, forces, energies, basic, natural, positive laws that you can use as well as chemicals. Chemet, alchemy. You see, alchemy, chemet, chem, alchemist. Chem is in the alchemist. It's in chemistry. It's in chemicals. But chem is alchemical, alchemy, alchemists. Alchemy of the mind. When you are transforming from the legal public to the private man of law and creator, we're taking you through a spiritual, alchemical consciousness paradigm shift. And when we do that, you lose the fear, you know yourself, and you command law as flesh and blood, natural man, woe man, man of the womb. We'll leave it there. So the alchemy is again all across, much like the trust language and uses, jurisdiction, application, alchemical, physical, physics, periodic table, elements, the philosopher's stone, and then you have the alchemical mix of the spiritual. The physical is the chemical, physics. Then we have the metaphysical, which is then the soul, the energy, the consciousness. So that's all. We are saying that there is, like the fourth state of matter, the plasma side of it. We can show you how to make silver water. I have a playlist made now on here called Silver Water. You will find it easily, and I've shared it on the public domain there. I'm going to put it into the .com later. I have the GANs to send out. We have the silver water that can be made effectively and easily. And this is not medical advice. This is just discovery in a private way that we've done privately in our private trusts and estates and clans. Really hard to get hold of. MMS, Multimedia Services, MMS, Monatomic, something silver. You've got me on MMS. Sorry, Hogarth, for more data. I think it should be called the Fear app. Have no fear, because your sovereigns are here. We have the faith, we have the belief. I like that. I like that sound. The stance. So you have a social agreement. We had Steve McRae of the McRae clan tell us in Liverpool we have the common law of obligations to adhere to and to remember amongst our positions, and we did have a chat about what these presumed common law of obligations would be, and how we would simply deal with them and put them to one side under the assumptive, presumptive areas that we have done already with the rest of the data and the titles and the affixture and the liability, the status, standing and capacity. So social agreements can be, generalised, which is your common law, your 10 commandments. We all agree to be decent. We all agree not to fight and rob each other. We all agree, standard. Like in the school ground, when you were schoolyard, when you're at the academy and you are little, you know nothing of law. Only mum and dad, teachers, your family, your grandma, your granddad, and things like this. Simplistic way of life. And good and bad. That's naughty. Mother's tongue, the mum's tongue has educated you and given you that. Santos liked it when we went into the intrinsic state of the alpha, beta waves and the youth, the soul, the language and the tongue that's used before the forked tongue comes in and starts to divert. So you know the principality of good, right and wrong, and you follow that inherently. Your mum, your dad, your family's teachings, and you're in a certain brainwave state up until the age of 7 where you just absorb, copy and replicate. So your contract is by proxy of your environment, not by a book, not by an author. No ships or any boats or anything like that is there. No school, the school of life, the tree of life. And that's your social agreement, I would argue. Then you got a contract. Well, a contract, in true essence and reality, to be just, right and proper, would be meeting of the minds, two fixtures of autographs and mans, and we would agree and we would contract. That's a correct contract. Now, when we come to look at UK contract law, that's nothing like that. That's actually an agreement, which is trust law passed over as contract law. So it's private, but it's pushed off as public, and then everybody does it, so it's okay. These are the contracts which we call constructed, statutory, unconscionable, indentured slaves, etc. to the ways of instructions. They are simply instructions. You are instructed by various ways, means, and measures. Easy, bro. I'm just on the cast. I will call you back after this if that's all right, brother.
Sorry, mate. Didn't
Yeah,
realise.
it's all
No
good.
worries.
No. Are you all right? Yeah, is everything good?
Yeah, it's all good, mate. Yeah, I'm just phoning up to greet you and say hello, brother. That's all. So when you're ready, mate.
Kev, do you want to say hello to Scribes as you're on?
Hello, Scribes. How are we? Just surprising Dave's broadcast and ruining it.
No, you're not. No, you're not, brother. Yes,
All right, mate.
yeah, I'll take your speakerphone. All right, we'll see you later. All right.
No worries, Dave. I'll speak to you later, mate. Okay.
All right, ciao. Much love.
Cheers, mate.
Bye-bye.
And to you, brother. Cheers.
What you talking about, Willis? In the flow. It always happens when I'm in a deep technical explanation. More often than not. Instructions, requests and requirements. I requests can be denied. Requirements are duty, obligated and bound. So instructions are given on food, instructions are given on medicine, instructions are given on new horses, how to feed, walk, hoof, exercise, brush, automobiles, conveyances, new media devices, technology, instructions. Yes, there's nobody there enforcing them instructions, is there? There's nobody there saying, Dad, Mum, you must read these. I used to call them destructions. And before you put this appliance together, this flat pack, let's go for some humour, and these dowels and glues and brackets for this chest of drawers that you've got, and you don't look at the instructions and you put it together. Nobody's there to make you pay fines, fees, forfeits or levies. Okay, I've covered that effectively. You know where we are with instructions. Requests can be denied. Requirements require, similar to request. They are duty, obligated and bound within the realm area that you are at the moment when we talk about that. Order, an oar, rowing, oar, skull caps, boats, orders, and look for the, what is it called now? I'm going to post it, don't look for it. This will help you immensely. If you've got time on your hands, you need to look at this is where I get it from, and then we go to dictionaries, then we go to etymology, then we go to publications and Merriam's and Webster's and Halsbury's and Black's and Oxford's and etc. But you need to know where certain bits allegedly, perhaps, may, and why. Yeah, so this is part 1 of 3. They are heavyweight. If you have some time and you want to watch some videos at night time and get up to where we are, this will give you a boost. All right, these are by Chiron Last and they are called The Golden Web. They are some of the most entertaining, enlightening. I'm not saying they're bang on 100%. There are discrepancies within this man's dialogue translation. When I've talked about canna, canine, Spanish, Dogon tribe, Cannabis, Vatican, Can, C-A-N, and then K-A-N, Canine, Dog, Dog Father, God, God and Dog backwards, Random, Tedious. But there you go. That's 3 links for your golden web. Chiron last is the channel on Tube. Or Order, Rowing, Skullcap, Oxford, Cambridge, Eton. There was once an Ali G show back in the day where he was dressed in his yellow outfit, like a giant yellow condom, to be fair, with his sunglasses on. Sacha Baron Cohen, Mr. Actor title there. I used to idolise him. Midjulie and the comicalness of this from the Channel 4 outlet where he rose from, alongside Ricky Gervais back in the day, before Ricky Gervais was widely known as he is now. And Ali G was sat at this boat race at Cambridge or Oxford or Eton, somewhere in Anglo, and they were having a boat race, and you'll see at the front of the boat there's a man shouting orders, and you know, they are rowing, romans, all right, romans rowing, Sister Nonna mentioning about the connection there of romance, boat people, etc. So enough said. Orders are given on a ship by a captain, essentially, Captain Pugwash, Captain Cook, you know, Captain Admiral Bird. So we recognise what an order is, and an order is a military functionality. Commandments are then commanded to you. They're divine, natural and positive. So your social agreements and your common law of obligations and your social contracts, and then your instructions and orders from your alleged inherent authority to your persons is how we're rolling here. I'm not telling anybody to disobey anything. This is just a chat, and I'm just giving you an extra helping hand while you have some time. I'm checking in. I'm looking at the numbers. You know, I'm a number man. I like my numbers. I'm not saying that they're bang on or anything. Just interesting experiment we're going to do privately as the trust. This trust here on this cast, not SPLS Pro, but Indigo Trust that we will make today. I'd like to know, is anybody on silver? Kevin, I believe you may have had silver for some time in your body. I've asked a question. If you are introducing silver atomically into your diet, and you have been for over a year, 6 months, a year and plus, I'd like to know, have you had any symptoms? Do you have any symptoms? When this is all over, I'd like to compile a list. This will be called our private indie trust, you know, results, and we will do this now. I've set it up, it's established, it's testified and expressed. I'm trusting you now. I'm set law, you're the trustees, scribes, but you're not. You're legally responsible. No, you're lawfully responsible. No legal about it. It's under law. There's no courts, there's no judge, there's no ships. There's me, the instrument of YouTube, your ears and your hearts and consciousnesses, should you choose to accept this mission, silver, water, users and scribers, then I'd like to know. And I'd like you to collate that. I'd like you to ask other family members and friends, and I'd like you to do it, the ones that can't hear my voice. I'd like you to pass this message on, and then you'd email contact@splspro.com, and we will collate that information. Like we are with the GANs, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 piles of GANs, test tubes and bracelets to send out. One says Lyndon, one says Lisa, one says Greg, one says Kevin, one says Anders. Then I have about 10 GANs, Water of Life CO2 test tubes to send out, that I want some testing done with those. I'm drawing up the paperwork today and sending them out today and tomorrow. There has been a delay sending this out because every time I've tried to get near the post office or high street, etc., it's been absolute chaos, and I've come back with my tail between my legs thinking it will calm down and we'll go again soon. So yeah, we will see what go on there. I have some emails to answer and to catch up with you all on, and we will see. There's enough for everybody, and we can show you, like I say, on how to make that. I have concentrated some information that may be relevant at these times into the .com in the form of a forum for coronavirus and a forum for GANs, gas in a nano-solid state. So this is our time to shine. Alchemists, chemical scholars, We need you. Your community needs you. Stephen, Kev, what? Bicarbon mothers have not had flu or antibiotics in nearly 10 years. Thank you, Stephen. Testimony there from Flesh and Blood, Natural Man. Thank you for giving that to the trust. We use this video and the comments on this video. Put the comments on this video once it's finished and you're on the replay. Underneath, please write your comments, your links, data. You know, keep your private data, you know, sensitive data, keep that private. But anything else you can give us, we need it, all right? And we will use this for the health department and other ongoing issues. When I hear last night there's a remedy, cure, maintenance for this in the form of hydro something, not having a go. Brother Albert, you come and told us they've allegedly got. Yeah, okay, there's more than one way to deal with things. Your body, your soul, your blood, your DNA, your future, your choice, your right. Yes, unless it is decreed and ordered in a military fashion, then I'm sorry, you know, that's taken from you. So this is slowly unfolding day by day. We all have a nightmare image of what we don't want to happen in our minds, and we are praying in between now and then the worst point scenario that we can honourably, conscionably manage this and see how it goes. I do, for one, think that the UK has made mistakes. I do think that Sir Patrick Vallance, is it, the Chief Science Officer, check that, and Chris Whitty and Boris have made mistakes. That's my opinion. The school should have been shut earlier. We should have locked down. I don't like that term. We should have ensured safety and minimised the spread of any contagion as soon as possible. I just think that we're going to see a sharp spike and we're not going to be able to deal with how it is. Like Italy, ciao bello, Italia, you're getting hit hard. Now the South's getting ready for a burst. If this virus doesn't create antibodies, or there is an issue with antibodies and this immunity, then we're going to need this alchemical backup to back up our government, back up the ones that are in power. They propose, they have fixes, and the top scientists working as they have decreed and declared nationally, internationally, and a bunch of initiate self-governing masters, guild sovereigns pop up and say, what about this? We've got this, we can do this, you know, then we can help them. It's not a, you know, fight. We rise above and we are equal. All life is equal. That's what we recognise, and we are sent to echo distant voices from the past and alternatives in light of mainstream scientific, academic, futile, invasive side effects and such forth. You know, it's up to you. It's entirely up to you. All right. But what we're saying is, with the garlic, ginger, superfoods, honey, water, what we've done with water absolutely blows my mind. We've restructured it, we've imploded it, we've magnetized it, we've distilled it, we've enriched it, we've put the law of attraction in it, the power of intent. We've got water from Bosnian pyramids, we've got ionized water, we've got water with silver in it, we've got water with GANs in it, we've got water containing love, memory, emotion, light. We are molecularly, I love that word, we are on a molecularly, much like particularly on water on a molecular level. We are again, you know, moving on. So Victor Schauberger and the carafe that come from the pilot that has designed a special shaped glass jar carafe that when you put water in it, pure distilled aqua, it will continuously create a vortex, which means it should stay vital. So if you look for the video on this channel with Sebastian and Anders and me, Sebastian is an ex commercial airline pilot, and he's given information on many levels in that chat, but one of them was his fascination, love for Victor, scientist there, and the proper propeller, water and movement energy, the curvature of Victor, and the alleged Fibonacci pi, yeah, Fibonacci golden ratio. So these things are important, much like the vortex math and the harmonics of the magneto-electro. So you can put water through magnets, and we had Brother Josh coming on and some others on about high yield with low water, a third of the water used, and over 50% increase in yield of fruits. Magnets in line with spiraling, restructuring, refractalizing. So we are not academic scientists, and that's why we know so much, and we found so much. There maybe is a disclosure coming that they are forcing, things to collapse via the disclosure in a civil shadow operative way, as such we are doing here. We have a duty and an obligation to our family, and we will give you information that may or may not save a life, much like we do with the processes: information, law, civil to God, ungodly. Legal is the undoing of God's law. If there is time and fear and panic, I would like you to pick up your faith. There is no book of faith. It's much like these secular Roman codes that we have. They're invisible. These acts of parliament that are passed, that are not laws, that are acts for actors. We are part of this realm. We are of this realm, but we play no part in it because we are not actors. So you step out of the realm, and your common law of obligations, your social agreements, contracts, instructions and orders then suddenly get swapped for the original covenant of your trust with the Creator. You had a trust with the Creator, the original bare naked trust of Adam and Eve in that garden, allegedly. I'm not saying that was real. What I'm saying is, hypothetically, there was a trust, God and man. There was a trust. What type of trust was it, Dave? It was a bare naked trust, because we were naked at the beginning of that trust and agreement. This is not a fictional depiction of history. This is the way the Romans pointed out the agreement that man had with the original Creator at that time. Then there was a serpentine interaction with an apple and technology of Apple. Don't forget the Apple, the idea, the iPhone, the X, phone 10, X, say 10, X, A10, A10 from the Nun and Amen, and Osiris, Cyrus, and what I brought you there with Apep, A10, 10 again. Oh, I noticed that. Yes, Torah, Jewish, IXXI, 911, tens and ones and minuses, X's again. It comes from long time. So I just want you to know what we know, and why we speak like this and why we are like this. We back it up. And the agreements and the covenants, wherever they're from, they are true, recreated, much like I brought to you from Zoroastrianism, Ishtar, I was going to say Ishtar, Zoroaster, the man, allegedly, Zoroastrianism, the story of the flood and Noah is there. They reckon also that story is depicted in Göbekli Tepe, where they have found the first discovery of the megalithic blocks dating 12,000 BC. Minimum, and they found 7 or 8 other ancillary sites around Göbekli, and when they look at that, they find that there is ones with animals non-indigenous to Turkey and around that area. It looks like the Noah's Ark story of pre-Christianity, antiquities prior to Jesus, Romans, Judea, Cabal, Canaanites, Canaan, Germanic, everything, all the way through 6,000 BC, story of Noah. So we can prove in many ways and formats, not just Mesoamerica and all of that, what go on and why and how we've been led astray. So there's a simple way now of coming back to that trust in front of God. All right, it was written, it was given in a way, but we had sky gods that gave us trust, civilization, and etc. It's got a bit twisted. There's many books there. You had a bare naked testamentary trust. That's your law, man's law, given to you by the Romans in the 4th dynasty AD by Constantine at the time, with the Justinian deception, a code within a code, later enhanced in the KJV, moving on for your modern day law, language, interaction within a civil, secular, high court private scenario, and how to officize your paperwork and put an officer into the court with your paperwork and manage that way. So agents and principals. The creators are the principals. They give the source of. We are the beneficiaries, but at this moment we've become trustees because we are now entrusted to oversee what go on and how it go on. And if we do our job right, then our blood will benefit. So you're going to swap your position for a moment, if that's okay, and you're going to conceptualize what I've said there. And anybody with some counter or intuitive argumentation, I'd like to hear it. And we are busy. Hello to the 13. The Magi are needed now. Follow that star. Have the faith. Whoa. First comment. Very relevant. Thank you, B. Someone told me the army have set up at Strathclyde Park, Glasgow. It's all go. Yes, the Prime Minister has come on TV, everybody, and I will interpret this for you if you are unable to. We are prepared to use any forces necessary to get the job done. I was speaking like Boris then. I wasn't insulting your intelligence. That's what Boris said yesterday on the update. There is a state in America on military lockdown. There has been an order in the United States and they have locked down one state. Can you give me that state name? Scribes, initiates, ones with their ears open. An order has been given by the US government on a state and it is now under that said military law authority. And they would be, or look at the thumbnail. What thumbnail have I used for the channel? Order followers and orders given. We all have obligations and duties, the army, to protect the landmass, but they are oathed, and they are oathed not to us, they are oathed to allegiance of the flag of America and the flag of Britain, well, England, United Kingdom. The Queen. The Queen's at the top there, and the Queen owns this, and then you got Trump, but the Queen owns Trump, but the Pope owns the Queen and Trump. So now you got the Pope at the top of the army there, the militia, Lex Mercatoria, etc., treaties, proclamations, all the way from 1302 onwards. So the Vicar of Christ in control, Queen, armies, Her Majesty's forces, forces of nature, forces of life, forces of law. These forces, orders, agreements, contracts, instructions, exactly. We have duties and obligations and deeds to execute, which we will do honourably and as peaceful, self-governing. This is where it's good to be a self-governing sovereign right now, because the word sovereign may not be relevant, but self-governing, conscionable, not awake, conscionable, aware of your actions and well-balanced. You know, so these important words now, under God, with Jesus as Christ, with Allah as the prophet, peace be upon him, Muhammad, with, come on, it's not hard to move this around now, is it? You've asked me, oh, it's only for the white folk. No, it transfers all the way through all known religions, this faith and this belief system, where you would then see the return of JC, but we don't say Jesus Christ, we say I am with Jesus and I am as Christ, the vicar of Christ. He is not Christ, he is the vicar of Christ, waiting for the prodigal son's return. The brain is the clouds, and the brain is where Christ will return in the Cerebrahum, the Sarah Abraham, the Kundalini, the caduceus, the spine, the serpent, the tree, the snake. The snake goes up the spine is the pine needle, the pineal gland, the pine tree, the Christmas tree, the presents underneath, the serpent related below, the star on the top of the tree. So you go through this ding, it's called a penny drop moment now. When you have that penny drop moment, you know whom you are and what you are and what your person is. We are no respecter of persons. We are procreators under the grand creators themselves, the Elohim and the elders. Some would argue, yes, are the ones appointed to lead in this confusion time. So you have been trained, you have been working up to this, and you're going to help your fellow enemy. You're going to rise above, and you're going to put your cheek out, and you're going to let them slap it at first, and then you're going to say, once they've worn themselves out, you know, you say, do you need some help now? Does that make you feel better? Your little vent and your whatever. We're here to help and assist. and to highlight and to work along is our duty and our obligation. We are under attack. We don't know what's going off. There is no clarity. There is bumbling academic buffoonery going on that's been going on since they started the fire, and the world's been turning. We did not start the fire. It has been burning since the world's been turning. And with our HHO silver alchemic technology, we're going to put it out metaphysically with a joyous clap from the heavens above. I'm not here to preach. I'm not here to test your faith or religion, but we put Christianity to bed. We put the Catholics to bed. We put the Talmud to bed. We've put the Torah up on high for some reasons of mathematics and codes and Da Vinci codes and genealogy, the Assyrian text, the Dead Sea Scrolls. I would argue that Enlil and Enki, as others have prophesied, are fighting bloodlines. I like that conceptualization, and there may be two bloodlines in light of the shadow state claims and the claims and the apprehension of what go on. I would say that there may right be now some powers that be having a battle. The sword of Omen give me sight of all sights, and so anything could happen. Self-initiate sovereigns, self-scholars, masters, and conscious awake brothers and sisters of our fam and tribe. Keep that news off. Keep it off and watch it now and again. Do not asphyxiate with the updates. Look after your fam. Check in on them. I've checked in on my fam. We've all been taking the mick out of each other and having a jolly good laugh. A giraffe. These old remedies should be looked at, brother. Yes, they should, indeed. That's what it is. It's as simple as that. You can charge water with energy, i.e. Reiki. Yes, we do, and we have done. Came on, hello, nice to see you. To see you, nice. 16 in the cast. Antibiotics is antibody. It was Stephen 20 years ago was always ill, then taking antibiotics, thought it was leading to cancer, and that's how I stumbled on it. What has your mum taken every day? David Icke yesterday would not trust the head of the heed. Gone Scottish. The heed of the WHO to tell him the time in a room of clocks. Stephen, thank you. A lot lived, yes they did, through the Spanish flu. We are remembering the bicarbonate. Yeah, not baking soda. Baking soda contains tiny particles of aluminium, which will give you Alzheimer's, which is in the news at the minute for 50-year-olds and thereabouts. That's had a 20-year recession. Life expectancy in poor omegas, females in communities, is dropped in the last 10 years, decade. Life expectancy with our queens in some hard-hit areas, low poverty areas, have dropped. Alzheimer's is on the return. Suicide in school assets and children. Property is going up. Depression. Health is going down. My mother was telling me she nibbled on eggshells and coal when she was pregnant. Get pestle and mortar. Okay, well said, Gwyn. Thank you for that as well. And to your mum. To the Queen. You get the eggshells, and you can get the eggshells once they're dried out. I said to Matt in Sheffield, why have you got a load of eggshells on the windowsill drying out on that towel? He says, because I'm going to put them in the pestle and mortar and grind them up, and that's a source of calcium, organic natural calcium. I went, shut up. He went, yeah, you grind them up, you can sprinkle that in stuff, and you've got your... So, yeah, well said, Quinn. Matthew in Sheffield also. Into his dog food, I think, to give Mr. Tesla a bit more calcium in his dog food. He used to sprinkle bits of that on, so recycling organic stuff and coal. I've heard of licking potatoes in addition to that, and the coal as well for pregnant mums' cravings of desire. Water has a sense of consciousness. Waters of life. We are 70% water, born from the water. Yes, indeed, sustained and loved. 100 years ago, turpentine was used to cure everything. Started to take it this week. Crazy, the parasites that have been coming out and been vegan for a year. Right, I have another man called... is that you? Is that Benjamin? As in the... Ben, do we talk on the phone? Because I had another man tell me this about a year ago, and I'm like, turpentine, what, for cleaning paintbrushes? You know, the one that decorators use. He went, no, organic turpentine. I went, oh, so don't just go to a hardware store and buy some terps and start ingesting that. Oh, God, no, he says, no, you want the organic turpentine. So when we say turpentine was used, a special type of organic, naturally occurring turpentine, okay? Quinn, my mother enjoyed coal and oranges during pregnancy. And we're off. Coal is very common. Bloke in Wales arrested for not isolating martial law. Okay, thank you for the update, Stephen. Turpentine taken from mainly pine trees, apparently. Bosh. David, are you playing trumps? Who trumps who? Top trumps. Trumps who? Bless you for trumping. Stephen's trumped, everybody. I'm not playing trumps, no, but bless you, you stinky lad. Pineal gland connection, I believe. The star at the top, the star is when you explode into a star. Search Jim Carrey wants to explode into a star on YouTube and tell me what you think of that. It's about 4 minutes in. Wait for it. And what's Jim doing? Enjoy that. Soul home of the spirit, spirit of truth will be with you and within you. You are I and I am you. Yes, came on. Ditto. Love and peace to all. There is good vibes. There will be when we're finished. By the end of it, if we stick together, there will be. If we keep our wits about us, keep conscionable, and continue with the alchemic conversions. Those of you that have joined later, the main issue here is the title. We've agreed, or not agreed then, I haven't had any questions on that or kickback from what I've said and how I've gone, so thank you all for that. Take it, write it down, share it, ask others what their opinions are and bring it back to me. Share this video, embed it, tell them that your brother Dave has got some time on his hands, and we are on it. We're here for you. And like I say, I'm East Midlands based on the Anglo-Saxon Britain landmass, and I am a private man, natural man, we'll say, known commonly David of the estate Jeremita, operating conscionably with my conscience, my soul, the essence of the Creator, the Elohim, the natural positive laws of trust, the original bare naked testamentary trust as expressed in the book there. I'd like you to join us on our quest, the return of JC, coming with Jesus as Christ, the Christ-like consciousness, in order for you to maybe work your way how to navigate through this exodus of times, systems resetting. And the silver water is of particular interest to me. The universe has a special way of saying hello to us beforehand. You look in the books there in the Gospels, Noah was warned by his granddad, and he was told, Enoch, I believe, was told, Noah to save, build a boat, the boat that we found in, not the boat, the alleged fixture that I've put in this video from Göbekli Tepe, from ancient aliens and such scholars as in that realm. Gods warned, Elohim, creators, gods, warned that there was something coming and there was a time to move out the way before the reset came. Those of us with the ears and eyes and the faith, we were told there was something coming. I am not a prophet. I don't want to be a prophet. I'm still a disciple. I am not, getting up to that way of, such other things that I've described there. I'm a thought leader, if anything. I'm no king of anybody, but the gods, they told and they warned, and you got advanced notice and things were done, and mankind wasn't totally wiped out, but 99.9 was, and a reset, new genetics and splicing began. Here we have had warnings, we have seen, and we have been apprehensive since October 2019. To us this is not a shock, and we were warned, and we can prepare and safeguard and see the lunacy out there within the realm, and the lack of love, trust, and the breaches that are going to go off. And that's why the army are also there. I, for one, personally want the food outlet centres and common law will say initially, and trust, the trust of the covenants and the commandments of, you know, and the bloodshed to be kept to a minimum. I don't want the rise of factions and gangsters and supermarkets and holes in the wall to be suddenly attacked, and our infrastructure and country and landmass, you know, as man privately, what we've done to build it, to be taken away from us by some unruly, belligerent, unconscionable arses. So if we need to put up some of our, you know, Queen's pawn now, we're on a checkerboard, and black and white chess pieces here, queen, pawns, rooks, castles, knights. Okay, so they, on the face of it, are going to move through the motions. We need to be proactive. And if there is a possible, amongst all of this now, infrastructure, Brexit, hospital strain, wartime in peacetime, then they need to be ready. We are at war in peace, so there has been no declaration other than the proclamation of the infection of this disease. So they have to, and I would argue that if they didn't prepare, we would be condemning them for not preparing. So as long as martial law isn't put on and there isn't restrictions which are not beneficial to us, then I don't see the worry at the minute. I'm not worried. We've nothing to hide. We've done nothing wrong. And to maintain this supply and the chains moving, because they use chains and they need a supply, fuel, diesel, hospitals, supplies, and roads, motorways, everything. So yeah, I'm mixed on that feeling. We shall see, and only God can judge, and that we have international measures to take. It's not all negative, and I wouldn't be worried. I'd say that they're just safeguarding as they do with their guardian ships. So here come the ships of the militia to be put into place on the checkerboard for possible intervention and use later. If we have pandemic situations coming to this landmass where we've reacted not as effectively as we could, then there could be chaos, and they will come to bring order from the chaos, won't they? So if we act and we lock down our communities, but we don't lock them down, we introduce trust, love, respect, compassion, understanding, and we follow these commandments, there will be no need for any external military codes, bills, orders, etc., because we will be fine. And if you see we aren't honourable and conscionable and we go greedy and start going savage and full of demons, then they will come to deal. Exactly. So we are not all, you know, clones. So we are not responsible for others. We're responsible for ourselves. So at times like this, use the faith, and those with the faith will be delivered. I promise you, on my soul in front of the Creator. I'm a voice of reason, an anchorman, and a thought leader at very best. You need to have some little echoes brought back to you. Times where you've been on your arse and you didn't think you was going to get out of it, and you were sure it was the end. You're here, all right? You've made it, and you'll make it again. We all will. But those that go out and break and, you know, and do what they do, then I'm sorry, you aren't going to go out there and deal with them. The police might not be able to go out there and deal with them. All systems are under strain. There's a backup system there. The Imperial Forces is what they're called, the Stormtroopers. The troopers are coming in. Possibly, yeah. Not necessarily a bad thing. Order needs to be maintained. If all of our land masses suddenly start getting riots through in the empty streets and all of these assets that the Roman totalitarian tiptoe, you know, of deception has got, they want them protecting, don't forget. You know, the Crown of London needs protecting, and Washington, and the Vatican's assets amongst all the major cities and shops, and, you know, there's a lot out there, to be fair. We've got a lot, you know, to consider. So health, wealth, transport, food, medicine, and the essentials, you know. So scary times, new times, not necessarily bad, but could be, and I'm not defending it, but we have to have the balance, and we have to be prepared for anything, okay? You got to have a broad mind. Anything can happen. Andy's joined. Merv, he wants to know more about the turpentine, please. Got any links, any videos? Anybody in Blue Man Group, you can put the links in for video that would help turpentine. If you search natural organic turpentine, Mervyn, you can find lots of information on that, and use your due diligence, all right? Come back and check anytime we're on and ask some questions. Free from Desire, Gala. Is that the one? My incense is purified. Wow, why Stephen? Why Gala? Free from Desire. 1997, roughly. Good Lord, help me. See, that's why I started doing acts, statutes, codes and laws. Just like records, tracks, artists, titles, you know, they just get stored in there. Who will be able to raise Cain, and who will raise Cain to be able? That might be the comment of the cast, Quinn. That's made the hairs on man's body go electrified. Never mind Enki, Enlil and Enoch. Oh, wow. I like it. Nice comparison. Relevant. Best to YouTube the turpentine on how to ingest. Nice one. Cannabis turpentine, holy oil. We're all gathered here today to witness the cannabis turpentine oil of Cayman 830. Nice one came on. I like that. We could do that. And so it was. Make it so. And it was decreed. Expressed. It's there. Coronavirus 19 is Kronos and his 19 Titans. Oh, I do like the way you've picked up on the crown, Kronos, Luna. I need to get in touch with the APM team, and also Claudio, now you've said that, and Santos, give him a nudge. Oh, wow, yes. Coronavirus, Covert 19, I've also heard Covert 19, Operation Covert. What's the story, Morning Glory? Easy, Jerry. Social agreements, social contracts, instructions and orders. A little bit of biblical comparison, covenants, agreements. Our five senses deceive us, our higher mind reveals to us. Yes, indeed, and true it does. Came on 8:30. I did like the way I saw in America, in certain parts, they were queuing up outside outlet shops to get their stash in before the lockdown. I was like, wow, these are forward-thinking warriors of truth that, are preparing all avenues. Never mind the shops, I'm going to the THC outlet first. I saw you in that queue, I think, came on. I think you was number 3, if I'm... It's a good time to make right the wrongs we have made in life. Open heart and be honest with yourself. Make right the flow. Heal thyself. And when we do that, we go, heal, oh come on. Heal thy. Dyslexia's getting too much. How you feeling? Yeah, Jerry, what go on? What's going on? How's the temp? How's the bod? Are you on the mend? Of our prayers and intent and the gingers and bicarb, the alkalinity, is it helping? How do I get your connection with God? I've tried speaking with him. I've tried trying to speak with him, kind of thinking I'm not good enough, although maybe... No. Oh my goodness. You have to find your own path. I cannot tell you. I don't hear voices. I don't speak with God at all. I don't know what's going on. 111 synchronicities, coincidences, brother Merv. The journey of Dr. Masaru Emoto and messages from water, messages, information, data, connectivity, times, dates, calendars, coincidences. These are our connections with good luck, good fortune. Isn't always good luck and good fortune. A butterfly flaps its wings, a storm elsewhere. Omens, omen, sword of omen, sight of sights, deja vus. But Dr. Masaru Emoto, messages from water, things like that, intent, practice, explanation, repeating, and self-belief. What you inwardly project, you will outwardly attract. When you inwardly project, so knowing thyself, good Lord, what else? Anybody help me? Brother Merv needs to know. Let's get him on the path. We're going to get you in the slipstream, Merv. You have asked. That's the beginning. Asking, wanting, trying, accepting. This is no church, all right? You will heal you thy hurt. God is a DJ. I was a DJ. I am not God. No, we are in the image of. All right, faith, faithless, heal thy hurt. This is thy church, Kirk. Captain Kirk, US Enterprise, Seas of Space. This time it may be the leap home for you. Let's get Al and give them heels a click. On the way home, let's go now from there to the Yellow Brick Road and lift the curtain. You want to see the man behind the veil in that Emerald Castle. Come on then, scribes. What I've set you up here, Merv. I've given you my all. If there's nothing you can get from that, then you're not going to get there. It's not happening. All right, that's full on indie bosh off the top of my head from the heart to you and others that want to get on this groovy train of electromagnetic madness. I wouldn't say God, I'd say a plasmic entity that is linked to the halls of Amente, Atum, Hermeticism, Hermetic principles, pre-Christian gnosis, science, and parables, comparables of antiquities that we've found. So it's a vibration, a feeling, an intent, I'd argue, ultimately. And then from there, it's eyes open, ears open, and game on. You will have to sacrifice. I said game on, not came on. We're asking came on, it's game on. You'll sacrifice and give. And when you pay with not money, you pay with your attention, and you pay with material things dear to you. And when you've proven yourself, then you are in. You don't sign anything. There's no thumbprints. There's no courts, things like that. Funny feelings, spiky bits on the body. Wow, yeah. Hairs standing up, and random good things happening instead of bad. Luck changing, a change of heart. The creator, the universe. Your change of vibration is man having a change of heart. I'm going to read the comments. Anybody else got anything for Brother Merv? Come on. Hey, I live and breathe this. That was straight from. See, that's it. I can't tell you. It's not like a book you can put out there and say, yes, do this and this will happen. No. You're going to get tested, and it's an interactive game of life. And the ancient tribal men, they appointed the spirit leader of the Indians and of the tribe, and he would then get the spirit from the fire and go and get the answers, and the Hopi and etc. Just a few there for that. Deepness, madness. So Merv, fam, make a list of that. Take from it what you will, and let me know if you can raise your vibration. I nearly said Cain then, that's you, Quinn. Raise your vibration and be able, because what did he say earlier? It's back to what Quinn said. He gave it in a code there, if you remember. Who can, yeah, so you roll back up and look what he said there. Who will be able to raise Cain, and who will be raising Cain to be able, or something like that, yeah? So boom, know thyself. Able, I did say when we made the video with Santos on Sun and Moon, the dictionary outlay of words ending able, constable, able, you know, able, words that make you able, parable, parable, comparable, able, able, bull, ball, bail. Madness where I went with it, and then to see Santos repeat them words and say, yeah, everybody, when he's in America doing his Australian man tour of self and whatnot. You know, I was honoured and privileged. I said to Joss, you know, Santos is repeating stuff that we've put out there and asked, and obviously we must be bang on because now he's included it in, and, you know, so together as one, we show you the bull, the hyperbola, ball, and when he come into the torus, atom, quantum, and we had the hyperbol and the bolaria, balearic, hyperbol, bull. Ah, my days, it were like that game of Pong, but in like really, really fast mode. Like you were stuck in a nightmare and you were playing Pong, but you couldn't get out, and you were doing well, and it was just going bing, 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 and you were just predicting where it was and doing well, and it was speeding up till it just went brrrr. Sometimes with information, I have a train of thought and I'm enjoying it, and it's at a slow pace, and then it gathers momentum and you connect more dots and you suddenly start speeding up, and sometimes you can get stuck into a loop where you go into a brain frenzy. It leaves your thought control and it takes on a life of its own, and it delivers something to you, is what I mean, and that's a truly unique thing. I can assimilate now how others have professed to go from the disciple up to, you know, the different stages that you have there. You had, you know, different titles and statuses, and it's a consciousness vibration, and as you expand and go up, then the universe will help you. You don't need to worry about, you know, your body manages itself. It's regulatory, heartbeats and infections and diseases and antibodies and things. We have a miracle that we're housed in, our sleeves that house us, you know. They're very, 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 very well at good, you know, and normally are well, you know, keep well and regulated effectively. So you just got to put the right bits in, and the rest will go on its way. So apostles lead disciples. A disciple is a discipline, discipline. So a disciple is a discipline is your disc and your discipline comes under the apostle, apostel. You got to look at this apostolistic and what the apostille and the introduction of these words apostilled in a non-Hague country. Why not get a birth certificate apostilled in a non-Hague country? Apostle, a post, mast. But apostle is Apostle Paul, Apostle Peter. They had disciples, so I am a thought leader with scribes, comparable to the English queen there, and her lineage taxing Anglo-Saxon Britons would be a comparable of the Roman Caesar taxing the Jews. Many comparables on different levels. Interesting and fun to play with, don't you think? Oh my Lord. Yes, you are my Lords, Lord God. Split title. Yes, God, Lord, Elohim, Creator. Now is the time. Probation has finished. Okay? Probation is over. The game is on. You're welcome, Merv. It rings like a bell. Indeed. Remember that? Anybody ever seen that film where they have, is it Wrath of the Titans, where they used to torture and put live men into brass bulls and close the belly and set them alight and burn you alive in a brass bull? That certainly puts the Christian crusades and the pouring of tar down throats to a compromise, doesn't it indeed? Buzz Lightyear came on, is on a Buzz Lightyear mode. Understood. Watch what you intake food, make sure it's living, whole. I say whole and living. Yes, that's good. And thoughts. Say a prayer before you eat in these times. If you have got a nutritious meal before you, you know, you can thank the universe for that manifestation of nutrition before you. Agreed. And breathing, I for one focused on that. Breath, intent, how you breathe, full diaphragm breathe, nostrils, mouth, even towards exercising, running. Protection is the key. Breathing has got a lot to be said when you think about the air and the spiralization of the air going through in the nostrils down to trachea into the bronchial tract, alveoli, lungs, etc., and all through there. There is a lot to be said. I've just found out about breathing correctly at the right times, and how Buddhist monks would regulate and self-regulate with the bead and hold and move a bead forward on the chain. I'm looking born again. There's a technique and there's ways of managing that technique, so that is key for anxiety, ADHD, autistic spectrum, all of this. Breathing is a simple non-chemical way, but an alchemical way to regain control within your life quite effectively and easily. Cayman's off. We'll see you in some light years in a star galaxy far, far away at the temple of the Red-Eyed Jedi in some time. Buzzing. He's buzzing. Have we got anything you want to say, ask? Are we all good then? I'm going to get off and ring Brother Kev, see what go on. Continue to go through emails, updates.com, and looking out for social updates from the militia at hand. Yes, we are still at war. We're in a non-declared war, and then we have a biological war going off on the people, which are not all people. They are men under God, under Creator, procreators in a private capacity, but we are not recognised as that. We are in a default public general army infantry position of assumption and presumption. So we serve to declare as soon as possible our my videos alone would in a court of law, your testification, witnesses, notarized events, expressions, proclamations. Facebook reminded me yesterday that it's exactly a year ago since I mentioned bringing up a last will and testament and possible codicils. So let's face it, 1 year ago I came up with the rosy idea to shout about, hey everybody, have you got a last will and testament? Why? Because you might need one, not because a virus is coming, but because the Crown State of London may lay claim on any of your blood property, assets, etc., sired, loined property, fruits of your labour, and etc. So to protect, before the threat, let's create last will and testaments, revocable, irrevocable wills, express private trust, etc., private trust deeds. Let's lock all our assets down and put them in the three main areas of trust: a living will, revocable, private, irrevocable, and then a last will and testament under codicil, and a year ago that was. Look what's happened a year later. If any of you was fortunate enough to heed my words, and I'm not seeing the future, I'm feeling the vibe, all right? And when I say things are coming and it's the last, and I'm not lying to you, I generally feel that. When we say fiscal, money, fiat, danger, October 2019 onwards, danger, Bitcoin, etc., we was telling you the truth and we was being honest. When we said we see a dark time coming and 2020 is going to be the last, then, as I've mentioned before, I think I'm the only channel that can come out here several times and say, Man's Act Test, allegedly a Treasury Direct account from the Royal Bank of Scotland on Church Street, Sheffield, with a sort code of Church Street, Sheffield, using 6 numbers from my person's national insurance number, and the year that the Anon that I turned 16 was 1994. So I took the 6 digits of the person, International Monetary Fund issued national insurance number. I took the 94 from the 1994 year that blood beneficiary of the land turned 16, I added 94 to the first of the 8 digits, which is 2, remaining 6 digits for an 8-digit UK bank account left. I added the 6 digits of the national insurance minus the letters to them 2 digits of 94 at the beginning and made a number 94XXXXXX. That was allegedly the main primary TDA account number that was created at the age of 16 for man, the beneficiary, in the name of the person, Mr. David Jeremita. I have the sort code for the Church Street Royal Bank of Scotland. I then went online to a bank account sort code checker and I said, hello, international commercial community, is this bank account at this bank real? Does it exist? Yes, it does. A green tick came. I was then to ring PayPal, Merchant Trader, and add it to PayPal and get it verified over the phone. I did all of that. I let it wait 2 days. It was still there 2 days later. I did some shopping on the merchant trading account in my person's name and paid for it using that newly added, found Royal Bank of Scotland, Church Street, national insurance number, year of 16 account, and things were credited and sent to the house where I told it to go. You're telling me now, in this austerity, we can't all go to the Royal Bank of Scotland on the church streets if that's where they all are? Church Street, eh? That's where mine was, in Sheffield, allegedly. And if I've had access to that and charged and discharged off it once, then I've had access to it. If I've had access to it, then it's mine, even if it was for only a couple of days. I'd argue that I was in possession of that. Treasury, Mr. Exchequer, all right, Home Secretary, Treasury Department, and International. So I've said this several times and I've had not one question. Not one of you has said, Dave, is it true? Did you really get that bank account from the Church Street, Royal Bank of Scotland, and check all that stuff and add it to PayPal and do some shopping and get parts? Yeah, I did. Then it was taken off you. Yeah, it was. So whilst we are using the last bit I want to say after that, thanks for the no questions. I presume that you're all on with it and it's worked well and you've got no qualms. That's why there's no questions about these TDA accounts that we may or may not have, got ownership of temporarily and discharged some charges to and then had them taken off us. Whilst we are using the trillions and billions and printing and discharging into quantitative easing and running up the national debt that's attached to our blood via persons and constitutional amendments, why can't we not bail out the aeroplanes, not bail out anybody in the billions and trillions, shut all systems down and give everybody an app? Yes, not a coronavirus app, not a tracking app, all right, that they're about to bring out and track you and give you the app so they know where you are and who you've been in touch with. Oh, get ready. All right, deep state, shadow state. Let's have an 808 state. Remember 808 state? Are you ready for this? All right, DJs in the house, acetates. Let's get a thumbprint on an app and let's get these Church Street Royal Bank of Scotland Treasury Direct account that David's allegedly has and shopped on and had took back off him back into everybody's hands now. Exchequer, Chancellor, Prime Minister, International Monetary Fund, IMF, Securities Exchange Commission, locally embedded agents. What am I doing here? What am I doing? Eh? I'm telling everybody for a 5th time and I've had no questions about it. So in 2020, 20th of the 3rd, 2020, this Friday, I will repeat that to you. Please go and check the year that you turned 16 in. Take the 2 digits, keep them, find your person's International Monetary Fund issued bank account. Take away the letters, leave the numbers in exactly the same order. Put at the beginning of those 6 numbers, the 2 numbers, when you turned 16. You've got an 8-digit number. That's your primary alleged trust Treasury TDA account. The emergency trust fund is coming into play here, all right, at these times of war and bills, the emergency trust fund, whilst we use that to bail out everybody, well, the man needs bailing out first. When we go to these funds and prints and everything, prints, not prints as in monarchy, but prints as in printed bits of paper that are given electricity charges and currencies, yes, well, let's give to the men first, the woe men, the queens and the kings of our lands, our true indigenous landmass inhabitants, etc., domicile, non-commercial procreators. We come to the companies last, and let's not forget these accounts that we've investigated temporarily, and we are working to get access to this year with giving the higher levels of government authority for us now to be away off the boob of the nanny state and into private and the credit control. So let me know how you get on with that, and stand by for further updates. Okay, yeah? First you've heard of that. So you will type in DuckDuckGo, bank account and sort code checker. Get a few of them open, different ones. Get your person's national insurance number. If that's why I'm repeating it, I'm thinking, hang on a minute, is this getting through? Have I, in 2020, not one question, not one man's gone out there and checked this. Nobody's come back and said, hey up, I got green ticks. This is the year, so if we don't know to ask for it, you won't get it. You don't know to authorise it. You can't authorise it and have it. Access to the gold bullion, bull ion in the Vatican, all right? So I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm asking you to do a bit of research. This isn't fraud. This is just discovery. I'd like you to discover if you have wealth in excess of millions sitting for you to claim. And the way to find that out is as I did. And why would eBay and PayPal allow items to come paid with that bank account? If it wasn't me, if it was in John Smith's name and I added John Smith's to David G on PayPal, the agent, when I verified it, would have told me it's not the same name, but she didn't. Or she didn't say anything, and it was added, it was confirmed. So then some shopping was done some days later, and then a message was sent. It was reversed payment time, and it went into negative. My PayPal was in negative. I went, what? Somebody's reversed it. Didn't have authority apparently. I did. It worked. The parts came, the bits, and then they reversed it. So, wow. I'd like you to work that out in times of austerity, because we'll put this too. We'll have a mass class action. If I can find 10,000 sovereigns with green ticks, get ready. All right? Get ready. If I can find 1 million sovereigns, how do you do it in America? SSN, Social Security Number, as opposed to the NINO, National Insurance Number, and origination, something, I forget, NINO, help me, what's the O? SSN. How many, let's do it live, how many numbers do you have in America for your person's Social Security number? I'll wait for you to answer. Somebody tell me, please, what format does an American Commonwealth Social Security number? I need a format. It has 11 numbers. Oh dear. Okay, that's not good. 9. Okay, 9 numbers. It's alright, slow down, we'll have a look. There was yeah, 9. Well, a bank account is 8 over here. You have EIN. Oh my goodness, we have a lot here. Numbers and international numbers. So you'd go on a different format. I'd have to have a think about that. I did it because what we normally get, I'm afraid, was all American and no English, and it was us English, Anglo, Britain, that was going, we're not in America, we're not in Canada, this doesn't work for us. This American English is not our English. So we've had to take the Crown copyrighted and deface that against Anglo English, decode, and with this American Fed and setup and ownership and reserve, it's slightly different. So we have got the transcontinental mishmash language, finance, and we have to have delete your I'm deleting that. I don't even want to see that comment. I'm not having a go at you, but just for safety, that's gone. Thank you for the numbers. That was your person's sensitive data, and Benjamin, I love you for that, but we don't need to see sensitive personal data. So we would work out that. Don't panic. But for Anglo, we will behind. You will search Treasury Direct accounts and look at the research there. I have got files in places that I would dig out, but over the next few days, if anybody has been on the domains and looked at the TDA ARC payments accounts that Heather and whatever was allegedly behind some years ago now, and you can recollect any of that information that they put out, bearing in mind she was allegedly arrested, Winston Shrout arrested, and others for federal games. You are messing around with non-authorised avenues here. I have admitted openly on public casting here that I was discovering and messing around with. These are Treasury Direct, they are not ours, you know, they are in our name, calling, and in a name copyrighted with the bonded securities and etc., but you don't have authority, so it would be high treason, theft, etc., for messing with, allegedly, but then by charging you and saying that you've done that, they would prove that these things do exist, and then the rest of you could use that information to open the floodgates. So either way, the House would lose on this one. As you can see, you are allowed to criticise me as you see fit. So we'll get back to you on that, Ben. Stand by, all right? Yes, high frequency radio. There you go, Jerry. Thank you. Here we go. Let's get that. Let's get in there now. I will open another page and get high frequency radio for you now. Excellent channel. Yes, yes, good points. There was also Harvey Dent and others. I don't know how good they are. I know how good I am and what I've done and what I can tell you. I can't, other than high frequency radio. Good shout, G-Man. Let's go. I'll give him the link now, and then you know you've got the right channel. I am subscribed. I like his icon. Some indigo lights behind the back, and yeah, do some research. Get back to me, Ben. We need you to help other ones across the pond, and I will do my research and diligence between us. We'll get the information out there. This is not instruction on any kind. I'm not responsible. I have no liability. This is for discovery of your soul finances. There you go. That's the link for the channel G's just mentioned. Charge, counter, charge, attack, counter, attack. So what does the military do when they go over the top? The army, out of the trenches, they charge, horses charge, charges, charge, light, charge up your battery. They put you in a cell, you charge a dead cell, a battery, a cell. Don't get me on that, Chiron, lass, you're going to love them golden webs, fam. This is the power, this is the alchemy of the mind, from the babble to the law to the conjecture, so you can stand there without a book and defend the attack. These legal claims, legal, the undoing of God's law, the attack on your soul. When they attack your soul by proxy of your person, that's how you defend them charges, my man. Bosh. Wow, what a chat. I need to go to the little boys' room, and I don't want to let you down here. I know there's 12 interacting thereabouts. Any questions or comments before man gets off? We'll be back in due course. I'm going to ring Brother Kev. Admin, emails, check on our kid, make sure the homework is being done, the live work, school work, academies work, MOTs. I hear what you're saying. What if your horsey needs an MOT and no other stations are closed? Can we get a cover note? I'll talk to you about that later. There's lots of stuff I've got to bring out with regards to possible legalities and things. Look at Ireland, what Ireland did when they required a cover note, all right, and you will see. You will see what happened in Ireland when they needed to sort MOTs out and had no facility for MOT, and there was behind. 1 minute, I must go to the boys' room. Questions and comments, then we go in. What? We're back. Okay. Discovery only. For now, yes, that's right. That's all I've done. If I'm going to come out and bring information and in my line of discovery and somebody comes out and says, hey everybody, you've got millions in your passport, driving licence and birth certificate. Treasury Direct accounts, they're the three main ones, and every passport, driving licence and well, there'll only be one certificate there issued, has got bonded securities with that in the form of special purpose vehicles. The passport, the driving licence and the person's birth certificate are vehicles. Vehicles that transport information of which is registered in the officer's realm. See my video, drivers, contrivances, modes, conveyances, vehicles, special, finance vehicles and vehicles for locomotion. So locomotion and transport at ion, transportation. Madness. So when I got into this and I heard them claims, I thought, well, that's exactly where we are. This is a massive claim. If this is, you know, after finding the triangle and the trust technology, if we've now got a TDA account in the Royal Bank of Scotland's on Church Streets with the IMF 6 digits in there, and this all makes sense. This is like, you know, it was March, just after Crimbo, and it was like a late Xmas, December time gift from the gods in the line of research that we did. So I was duly obligated in my discovery and research to find out in this claim of Roman bondage and Chapter 11 bankruptcy, insolvency, souls claimed by the Vicar of Christ, and from 1302, and here we are in 2017 trying to work out what go on in Babylon. I was obligated and duly bound to, under my covenant of discovery and a thought leader, channel owner, and then a trust establisher, of you know, to go and discover and give you an answer, because there are those that do the work and there are those that talk about doing the work. So I went and did the work, and I come back to give you those answers there. I wasn't alone. I had a good 4 or 5 other mans doing it at the same time. They all got a tick. They all got their accounts added to PayPal. They all ordered something low value, and I believe they all got their items. Some had different access levels and amounts and limits to others, but we all, 5 or 6 of us, found an account, got the ticks, added them, shopped on them, and went, whoa, whoa, whoa. I swear, as a blood and flesh, natural man under the Creator, that's what went down. Thank you, much love, and we will be back soon then. I'm going to go and ring Brother Kev. Stay away from the news, watch it now and again, keep in touch, let us know. Alchemists, I love you. Indigos, I love you. Initiates, scholars, Marstars, procreators, and agents, locally embedded, government, all. We love you. We love all. We thank you. We wish well. We say bless. No stress. Oh yes.